So guys, welcome to part 3 of this 2020 fireworks stash series. This is all these straight firing cakes. Previously we did all the fan firing, and prior to that we did all of the compounds that I've got. So here we've got all of the straight firing cakes and a few fountains that we've got for this year. Similar brands in this stash that we had to the last stash. We've got Prestigious, Celtic, Primed, Classic, Vivid. I think that's everything off the top of my head. We'll again, all of these bar the Weapon G, of course bought from Chorlton, and that Weapon G I've had for a couple of years, obviously from Galactic. Let's get right in, and we'll go to these two little black wrap cakes on the left. Yes, you guessed it. Plain black wrapping with nothing else on it. It's got to be a Vivid firework. Of course it is. 25I008. Of course, 25 shots. I being it's a straight firing, and 8, it is the 8th iteration of a 25 shot straight firing cake. In this case, this is the crackling crosset. Really nice firework. Same effect as the fanned version that you saw in the last video. So I've got two of these. Again, the hang time on these is really good. I think it's 30mm tubes, and as you can see there, 25 shots with 625 grams. In 25 shots, that's a lot of powder per shot. I'm sure someone can do the maths for me somewhere. But yeah, great looking firework. Can't wait to set that one off at some point. Above that, we've got some slightly small. I think this is the smallest firework in this video, if not the smallest firework in my stash. So standing ovation, two of these. Now these are Vivid's versions of dump cakes. Now there's 50 shots in this, 50 20mm shots, and they all go up together. If you've not seen the video, go and watch it. Really loud screech up to some, I can imagine they're fairly timid breaks. There's only 240 grams of powder in it, so compared to the crosset cake you've just seen, not a lot of powder per shot. However, because they all go up at the same time, I can imagine it looks pretty good. As you can see, it's fairly tiny firework, 20mm tubes, but nonetheless should be pretty good. And as you can see there, Cat 2. It's not often I end up with Cat 2 fireworks, and I don't do that on purpose, of course. I just like bigger stuff, which tends to be Cat 3. But something like this, Cat 2, I think if you look on there somewhere, it'll tell you yeah, there you go, look, spectators must be at least 8 meters away. Now, for any firework, 8 meters I would say is, we're getting a bit too close, really, bar maybe small fountains and stuff. But for something like this, really, you don't want to be 8 meters away. You're gonna want to be probably at least 25, maybe 30 or more meters away. Not only for safety reasons, but also because the effect, you'll be looking up and it won't look as good from that close. Stuff tends to look better if it's slightly further away. But yeah, they look really nice. Fairly cheap for what they are, but should be quite a nice little dump cake to compete against the Celtic dump cakes. On to the next cake now, Primed Furious Angels. I did have 3 of these, but like in the last video, I gave one to a family member so that they could enjoy some fireworks on bonfire night. 792 grams of powder in these, 36 shots. Really nice firework. The effect in this is not all that common. It's becoming more common, but it's like a deep howl, deep whistle up to a salute. Now other cakes similar to this don't go for a salute. And some people have pointed out that it's actually detracts from the firework because it's a salute and not any other kind of colourful break. You don't get the same thud from the salute because the tail, the lift takes it so high. But even still, it looks really good. And as part of a finale, because they go so high, it adds an extra layer to your display. So I'd highly recommend going for any of the any kind of effect similar to this. I don't know what it's called. If you can find it, Howling Wolves from Epic, that's similar. I think there's one from, I want to say Evolution, that's new this year. I can't remember the brand, but yeah, really nice firework and helps you layer your display a lot better. At the bottom here we've got Ghost. This has been around for a couple of years. Got a couple of these cakes this year. You saw in the last video I've got Motherlode, which has a ghost effect, and Glister and Ghost from Celtic. Now this is slightly different. It's not single effect. They're all ghost shells or ghost breaks, 30mm 49 shot, but you've got different coloured stars, so it might break with, say, green stars, but then you'll get a red ghost effect behind it. So that looks really good. Two of those, probably max weight, 49 shot 30mm cakes tend to be approaching 1,000 grams of powder in those. Onto some more 49 shot 30mm cakes. Had these last year, and the ones above, Die in the Sky. So Goldfinger is a nice dark dirty gold, very fast firing firework, with blue stars. Good pace to it. You could probably use them in a finale. I didn't, however I may in the future. And then Die in the Sky is slightly different, so you've got several different effects in this, different colours, but they're very bright, vivid colours, and that's what this one's gone for. The name is pretty appropriate, I would say. Die in the Sky, really nice firework, good pace, reasonable duration, but again, these are aimed at somebody that does pretty much large-scale displays for the members of the public rather than for a back garden. This you definitely want to be 40-50 meters away from, especially to get the effect to look really good. At the top here we've got Dark Demolition, and these have been around for a little while now. Everyone knows what they do. It's a 19 shot dump cake, 30mm, all 19 shots up at once, and it breaks with a nice sharp crackle. Really good way to close a show. So I've got two of those just to keep my options open. You can see I've got a few different dump cakes this year, like I say, to keep my options open. Now these I'm really looking forward to firing. I think these were new in last year. 25mm I want to say, 49 shot cakes. There's three of them. There's Dark Spirit, Psycho Spirit, and White Spirit. I'm not going to pretend I remember all the effects are, but one of them has an effect, I think it's White Spirit, has an effect I've not seen where it sort of breaks. I think it's a gold break, and then as the star travels further from the burst, it changes to a white, like almost like a white strobe, not strobe, I don't know what the word is, I can't remember. Anyway, like a white comet, and it looks really good, and I've not seen it in, I don't think, any other consumer firework, which is why I went for that one. And I like packs of fireworks, hence I got all three. And another one of these is a combination between Classics Ghost and Super White Strobe, where the effects alternate. So one's a white strobe and the next is like a ghost effect. I think that's Psycho Spirit. And then the other one, I couldn't tell you what it does off the top of my head. I haven't seen a video in a while, but they're really nice. 25mm, but they perform more like a 30mm or 30mm firework. But yeah, they look really good. I'm probably going to put those up together to try and determine which one is my favourite. I think it's White Spirit. And underneath White Spirit we've got Chop On, which is new from Celtic this year. And as you can see there, it doesn't say Celtic in the middle, it says Chris. I think that's in memory of a member of Celtic Fireworks. I didn't know him personally, but I know he passed away this year, and this firework is dedicated to him. There's another one on the market called, I can't remember, The Big Player, that's the one. And that's full of effects that he used to love, made by one of the factories that knew him very well. But this is another one, Chop On. It fires in banks of 3, lots of good colour in this. And obviously it's a nice tribute to someone that was all things fireworks. So that's great to see from Celtic for this year. Thought I had to get one. At the bottom here we've got two 10 out of 10. Now these are huge, great big things. 100 shot firework, I presume they'd be the same size as Lightning Strike, but as you can see it's a hell of a lot bigger. Now these are 100 shot 25mm. There are 1,000 grams of powder in this. Most fireworks approach that, but this is sitting on exactly 1,000 grams of powder. Really nice firework. The name is the perfect description for it. Some of the colours in this look awesome. Some of the effects are really nice, and the pace of it's good. You get great duration out of it. I'm really looking forward to firing those off as a pair. They should look really nice. Probably one of my most anticipated fireworks of this year, for definite. Really looking forward to those. Another great item from Celtic. And a classic here, you can see 3 lightning strikes. I keep stocking up on these, firing them off and then buying some more. But now, as I said in the last video, they're probably not making these anymore. So I bought another case of these just to make sure I had some left over. So yeah, Prestigious Pyrotechnics with their old logo, which doesn't look as good as their new logo, if you ask me. There it is, there's their new logo. Looks much better, much more professional. Then we've got Weapon G. Had that for a couple of years, and I'm keeping it around, similar to Lightning Strike. I love the artwork on it. The artwork on it is great. I think the first stash I did on YouTube had one of these, so maybe it's kind of fitting that I always have one of these in my stash, even if it's just the same one each year. Great firework, great pace. And one thing I've noticed, and I'd be interested if for any of you that have had a Weapon G, I've always found this fires in half the time it should. So if you go to my Watford 2019 display, the village display I did, I had 4 of these and they all seemed to fire very quickly. And then I had the same thing, it seemed to fire very quickly for my New Year's show last year. Now I don't know if that's just me and I'm completely making that up, or whether anyone else has had that issue, but when I fired Lightning Strike, which is the same firework, just a different wrap, I didn't seem to have those issues. So I'd be interested to know if any of you have ever had any issues like that. And then on to the final cake of this stash, we've got Revival. Now, similar to the last video, where Flawless Finish was the replacement for Frenzy, Revival is essentially the replacement for Lightning Strike. 100 shots, yeah, probably max weight, but similar to the fanned versions, this is a much dirtier gold, whereas Lightning Strike is a much brighter gold. And I think this fires slightly quicker as well. It finishes with 30 or 3 10-shot volleys at the end, so basically 30 shots in one, which should look really nice. So yeah, that's all the cakes, and then of course I'm sure you've spotted the 4 Glacier Risings nicely dotted around the stash. It's a great fountain, great height, there's no crackle in it, which I absolutely love. How many grams is in this? Where is it? 190 grams in there, which I guess is good for a fountain. I'm not really particularly knowledgeable on fountains, but yeah, Glacier Rising, really nice. Not sure if I prefer it to Angel Dust. Oh, not Angel Dust. What's it called? The new fountain that they've just brought in this year. I can't remember what it's called. But that's like a almost smokeless fountain, which is something that a lot of people go for. But never mind, I've been talking for well over 10 minutes now, which is far too long. If you've made it this far, then congratulations to you. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. to anyone that makes it to the end of my videos, you can get some free fireworks, who knows. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want me to do, because I'm getting more and more fireworks each year, and I feel it's only right that I share some of this awesome pyro with people. I'm sure we can raise some money for good causes or whatever it might be. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for getting this far. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And the next video will hopefully be up very soon. Hopefully a few rockets. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.